Welcome to this DaVinci Resolve Fusion node breakdown. Today's not quite a node breakdown, but we're going to do a kind of advanced particle system. And in thinking what to do, normally when we do VFX shots and we're adding particles and everything, we shoot the shot according to the VFX. So if I was going to say add VFX to an actress, I would light and shoot the shot knowing I was going to add VFX. So, and with a combination of not being able to send you stock footage that I can download and use, I wanted you guys to use the exact same footage. So I just created this quick little 3D of our little actress here, the same one we always use. And I put a link so you guys can download it. And it's just a simple, I didn't do an EXR or anything. It's just a simple JPEG sequence. So it's small and short, 4 seconds long. So it'll be quick and easy for y'all to download. So go ahead and download that and we will jump into Fusion. So in Fusion, you can see this is the build of this project. And to keep this video somewhat short, I am not going to recreate this from scratch, but I am going to create it so you can see exactly how we did it. But in order to keep this down to like 20 minutes, hopefully, instead of like an hour and 20 minutes, I'm not going to recreate everything. And there's this magical button on YouTube with 2 lines. It's a pause button. So you guys be sure you pause and back it up to see what I'm doing, because I'm going to build through and just walk through settings. So this is the general setup for our particle system we have here. And we simply have a set of emitters going to its own render for the main blue magic. We have one for the smoke that's coming up. We have one for the glowing smoke that's coming up. And then we have one for the main source of our little magic on the bottom of our hand there. So there's 4 total particle systems going in. So we will cover each one. So to get started, all you have to do is drag and drop your media into Fusion. And we've got our little media. And go ahead and grab a merge node and put that into the foreground. And we're going to get started with our first few nodes. So I'm going to disconnect these 2 and connect them up so we can see what's going on. So first thing you want to do is grab a render node. You can just go over here and drag and drop a render node and grab a fresh emitter node. So you can just go here and drag and drop a fresh emitter node. Now, on our emitter node itself, I randomized the seed on this initially. I just put 500. You can put whatever number you want, just so our initial seed is different from the rest of the seeds. And as far as the number of particles, we are spawning 20 particles with a variance of 0. We have a lifespan of 36, a lifespan variance of 50. I know that sounds odd. We usually keep it, because I know we say we can't go negative, but that's nullifying the negative. But we do want some of those particles extending quite a bit further than our original particles. And for color, I'm using style color, no position variance, and I'm randomly distributing on that temporal distribution. And all the rest of our settings are default. Velocity, rotation, spin, I made no changes. For our region, I just have it set up as sphere and 0.1 for the size. And I'm going to go ahead and plug this into our merge node. And all I did is placed it where her hand is. And her hand isn't moving by design. I didn't want to have to get into tracking and all that stuff. We just want to concentrate on particles. So her hand isn't moving, it's perfectly still. So just place your particle system wherever you want around her hand. So back to the emitter. For style, I selected blob and I cranked the noise all the way up. For our size controls, I have the size of our particle set to 1.5 with a size variance of 0.5 and a size to velocity set to negative 0.15. Our size to z-scale I cranked up to 2, and I just kind of made this little curve so our size over life kind of changes. And when you add a new one, it's going to add just a linear. If you right click on these little nodes you create on this curve, you can select smooth if you want, so it'll just smooth all those points out, and you can change it as you want. For color controls, I've got it set to just a little below pure white, so it's slightly gray. And our color over life, I've got 3 different colors, and our first color, I just selected a color that's kind of bluish, and you can pick whatever color you want. This isn't necessary. Just know it's going to carry over to your other nodes. If you want to make this look like fire, you can make it look like fire. I just on the original media, I did have a little blue light. You can see it reflecting in her eyeball there, her glass, just kind of flashing, so it looked like this little magic effect was flashing. So that's why I use blue. And somewhat in the middle here, just kind of look, and this is determining how you want it to look. There's no specific place you need to put this. This is just for your look. I just made it a slightly brighter blue, and at the end of its life, I made it white. So now we have that. So the next node we want to introduce is our directional force node. So you can search for P directional force and input that after your emitter. So now we have a directional force. And as far as the settings itself, I just had the strength set to 0.1 and 90-degree direction, so it's going up. The next node we want to introduce is the P turbulence. So you can hit Shift Space and search for P turbulence and input that after your directional force. And the P turbulence node is just all default. I made absolutely no changes. So it's just in there to kind of add a little turbulence as our little magic particles go up. Our next node is the P spawn node. So you can search for the P spawn node and input it after your turbulence. And let me jump up here a little bit so we can see what's going on. In your P spawn node, for the number spawned, I dropped down to 0.1 with a number variance of 0, a lifespan of 30, and a lifespan variance of 10. And again, use style color and randomly distributed, and I had no changes to velocity, rotation, and spin. They're all default. For our region, I just left to all. For our style, I set to blob with no noise on it. And our color, I just use pretty much the color palette from our first primary emitter and just change it up a little bit. Now the actual color I did change to be like a light blue, and the color over life, I used the same light blue and then went to a white or a much lighter light blue, and then to a darker light blue. And again, all this depends on how you want it to look. There's no one specific way to do it. You can do it however you want. For the size controls, I dropped it down to 0.2 in a size variance of 0, size to velocity is 0, and size to z-scale set at 0, and my size over life, I just created this curve. So now we have these little sparkles flying up independently, being spawned from our original particles. The next node we want to add is the p-kill node. So you can hit shift space and search for p-kill and drop that in after your spawn node. And this node, what I used it for is to kind of tame those particles going up. So I had 0 set at random seed, probability I set to 0.3, and I had it start at around 0.25. So this is the node you're going to use to drive kind of the look and the size of your magic. So you can see if I raise the probability or lower the probability, that's how much it's going to go up or down. So 0.3. And same with your age. So your start age is going to determine when that starts enacting. So this will drive the look of your particle as well. So if you want it to be a tighter little magic particle going up, you just drop that age. And for the region, everything is just default, set to all. And after that, for our render node, the only change I made to our render node is I added a blur of 2.5, a glow of 0.4, a blur blend of 0.7, and that is it for our render node. So that's our first set of particles that creates our little magic look. So for our next set, you can honestly grab all these particles, hit Control C, Control V, and paste them all again. So you can use the same exact ones to create our next set of particles. So, but we are going to have one additional system on there. So I will delete that because that's what this particle system is. And let me go ahead and input that to our background so we can see. So on this particle system for the emitter, I changed it to 10 with a number variance of 0, a lifespan of 90, and a lifespan variance of 50 using style color. But this one I changed to all at the same time. And there is no velocity, rotation, or spin added. For our region, I used a sphere again. I just changed the size a tiny bit, I believe. And I just changed the location, and all I did was drop it down a little bit. So it wasn't directly on the same particle system as the other one. It's just lowered a little bit or raised. So that's what that system looks like. Our next system is the directional force node. So all this is doing is adding that directional force, and it is set to default settings. Or actually, no, I did drop it down to 0.025. After our directional force, our P turbulence is adding turbulence, and it is set to all default settings again. Now, the one difference between our initial particle little system is after the turbulence, I added a point force. And what we want to do is make sure we drop the location of this point force below our particle system. So it's dropped below. And then for the settings, I just had a strength of -0.1, a power of 1, and limit force set to 0.8. After our point force node, we can use another spawn node. And our spawn node, I want to say, is the exact same spawn node as our other one. Everything is exactly the same. So it's the exact same spawn node placed on our little smoke here. After that, I had a p-kill node, and I had it set to 0.969. I just moved this randomly. And again, this is going to drive that look. So whatever your probability is going to drive the look of that smoke. So I had it set pretty high. And now the age, I did move over to 0.444 or 0.4 to make it start a little later. And our render node is the exact same render node. So again, you can copy all these, Control C, Control V, and make our next emitter system, which is the glowing smoke. So I've got some glowing smoke kind of going in on the particle system. So if we look at our emitter, go to our controls, I've got it set to 1 with a number variance of 0, a lifespan of 90, a lifespan variance of 0, set to use style color in all at the same time, and no changes to velocity, rotation, or spin. For our region, I set the size to 0.08, and I moved it up a little bit so it was not in the same exact location. For our style, I use blob with 0 noise, and our color set to pure white. For our size controls, I had them set to 8, and just remember, if you're trying to raise this and it doesn't go up any higher, just type in it. You can type 8. And size variant set to 0, size to velocity at -0.2, and I created this curve to kind of change the size over time. So you can kind of mimic that curve. And again, remember, if you need to get these smoothed out, all you have to do is right click on them and hit smooth. Otherwise, it's going to be linear like that. For color controls over life, our initial color, I had our same light bluish color we used, but then I added this darker color, and this you're going to have to change once we start combining everything to get the look you want. But I went with a darker color. Initially I went with black, and I'm going to change this down to black again, so you can see later when we do our look and combine everything how this changes everything. And then our final color, I had a light blue. After that, we had the same P directional force with the strength set to 0.01. Our default turbulence node. Our point force node was the same exact point force node we used here. Our spawn is the exact same spawn node from up there. So the beauty of cut, copy, paste. Our kill node, I changed the probability to 1 and the age at 0.5 for the start time. And our render node is the same. So for our little source particle system here, let me bring that in. You probably want to make sure, instead of copying this one, copy your initial emitter setup up here and then paste it. And then you can go ahead and delete everything except for your directional force and your P kill. So on our emitter, I've got it set up to 5 with a number variance of 0, lifespan of 30, lifespan variance of 50, using style color and randomly distributed, and no changes in velocity, rotation, or spin. In our directional force, it's put down to 0.01. And our P kill node is what's really driving the look of this. So I've got our probability set down to 0.4 and our start set to 25. And again, our probability is going to be what drives the look of our actual little source particles here. And same goes with your age. So this is really going to drive how that looks. And let me move all these out of the way. Disconnect everything. So now we should have our 4 individual particle systems. So, and if we want to make this a little more organized, so if we highlight all these and hit Shift Space and type in UND, we can select our underlay and add that, and it's going to pop that up. And then if we hit our F2 button, we can name this to like flames. So we've got that flames. We can select this, UND, underlay, add, and name this smoke, and highlight all these, Shift Space, UND, underlay, add, hit F2, and we'll name this glowing smoke, and highlight these, Shift Space, UND, underlay, F2, and we'll name this source. So we've got all of our different little systems here, nicely laid out. So our next step is merging all this together and adding some looks. So I just added a motion blur and input our little flames here. So now with the motion blur, it gives us a little blur going on. And I've just got it set to better, medium, and 50. After that, I added a glow. And I've just got it set to 20 and 0.8 for the glow size of 20. And I just copied these and pasted them down for the next node. And for our smoke, I input that into motion blur. And on our glow, I knocked that to 50 and 0.1. So that is our smokish type stuff coming out of our magic. And for our glowing smoke, I added light rays. Now you could add a glow if you want, but I found light rays was doing a little more to our little glowing smoke here, because it gives us these little flares coming down. So it just kind of looked cool to me. So for this setting, you can look at the setting here and just play with however you want it to look, and crank them up if you want. There's no really one way to do it. So you can just play with your settings and get the look you want for these little light rays coming down out of this glowing smoke. And for our source, I just added a glow and had it set to 33.1 and 0.559. No specific setting. I just kind of found a happy medium of what I liked. So once you have all these together, go ahead and grab a merge node and input your smoke to the background to the foreground, and your flames to the background. So we have them combining like this. Now on the merge node itself, you want to make sure you change the apply mode from normal to lighten, because it does give it a different look. That's normal. If that's the look you want, that's fine. But I kind of changed it to lighten, so some of that brighter stuff shine through that smoke layer. From here, you want to bring this merge into a new merge node into the background, and then bring our glowing smoke into the foreground. So now we have that. And this is the point where I was talking about the color of this glowing smoke. So here you can really get your look, how you want your look. And I know that doesn't make sense, but if we go to our emitter here and go to our style and our color over life, and let's select this color right here. You can see if I start changing this, this is really changing the look and making those rays shine through and giving it a completely different look. So however you want your magic to look, this is the node you want to kind of change to get the overall look going with this glowing smoke. So whatever color you want. I mean, you could come in here and completely change the color if you wanted and have multiple colors. But I'm going to leave it on our bluish color here and just find a nice happy medium of what I want the look to look like. And I kind of like that. So that's adjusting the color over life on our little glowing smoke emitter. So once you have that setting set up, grab another merge node and input that merge into the background and input our source into the foreground. So now we've got that. And again, on this emitter, go into your style, you can change the look of your source magic however you want it to look. So, but I wanted it to be kind of blown out and a little bright, so that's what I went with. So once you have all that, we can go back to our original merge where we had our media in the background and merge our little magic in the foreground. And if we look at our media out, that's what we get. And again, you can go in and change the colors of all your emitters and do what you got to do to finalize your look. And you could actually, even with this footage, because obviously this isn't realistic at all, it's not even reflecting in our glass, we could take a, say, transform node. Let's get another merge node, and we're going to bring this in from the background, and we're going to bring our final merge of our particles into our transform and plug that into our foreground. So now if we go to our transform, we can actually move our particles and resize them, and we can change up our aspect. So we can make it look like it's maybe reflecting off her glass there. And we can just set this to, I don't know, say screen. And change our blend. So now we've got our little magic reflecting off her glass helmet. Of course, you'd have to make masks to mask all this out and do all that stuff. Plus, it's out of focus back there, so we should probably add a blur and blur that up a little bit. So there we go. Now we've got our particles reflecting off her helmet glass. So that is a pretty standard, not quite advanced. It's a pretty standard particle system and something you would create for a client. But again, like I said, normally when you shoot, say we wanted to make this fire instead, if the shot had a little bonfire going, we would shoot that scene with the intent of putting VFX in it. So all the lighting on the actresses or our environment would reflect the intent of putting particles in, and then you would build your particle system based around the look of that shot. And since this is 3D and not super realistic, we're not going to make our magic super realistic. We just kind of want to make it match that shot. And of course, if we wanted to have our magic already going in the shot, we can go to all of our render nodes and we can say pre-generate 100, pre-generate 100, pre-generate 100, and pre-generate 100. So there we go. We've got our little magic effect starting from frame 1 and going all the way to the end. So I will see you guys in the next node breakdown. Let me know if you have any questions.